and welcome to another episode of British Carping. Today you join me at Lower Park Fishery on Park Pool and Peg 6. Today I'm going to be showing you how I like to fish pellet in the winter time, just fishing on the pole. I'm just going to show you the two main lines that I like to fish in the match situation in the winter when fishing pellet. The two lines are long, but in this case I'm fishing long, pretty much tight to the island. I'm about a foot away from the island on the slope. I personally think a lot of natural bait accumulates there as well, and also it's nice and flat and even, and it allows you to present your bait really well. And then the second line I'm going to fish today is just a short line, just a top clip plus one section line, and those are the two main lines of attack that I go with in the winter months when fishing a match situation. I also tend to have a feeder line and an edge line going as well. I would say never ignore your edges. Even in the depths of winter, there can still be a few fish lurking down the edge. I wouldn't say obviously don't feed as much, just put a little trickle of bait just to get one bite down the edge is what I would say, and just do it that way, but never ignore it. And as I said, I'm going to show you how I like to fish pellet. I'm going to take you over to the behind my peg now and show you how I like to prepare my bait. Right, so I'm going to show you how I like to prepare my pellets quickly. Very simple, to be fair, and I'll do this in 90% of my pellet fishing when fishing pole and pellet, or pretty much this is how I prepare my pellets most of the time, 90% of the time. So all you need this session, I'm using micros, 6mm and 4mm. Mainly feeding 4mm and 6mm because of the depth. Try and get it to the bottom as quickly as possible and hold the fish on the bottom. I'm also feeding a few micros just to act as kind of an attractor. It kind of acts as a ground bait, gives off a scent, helps draw fish in. So all you need is, as I just said, micros, 4mm and 6mm pellets. Any liquid additive, it's pretty much personal preference. I personally, for the colder months, I like to use the Sal mainline match liquid additive. It's very good winter bait, and Sal's very prolific in the winter time. In the colder months, pretty much the Sal's prolific all year round really. And it's a very concentrated liquid. It's very highly concentrated, so you know that you can glug your pellets and leave them for years and they're not going to go off. And this is how I like to glug my pellets. Pint of pellets in the bag, get your additive. You only want to be using about 100ml, so just a couple of squirts. Don't want to absolutely soak them in it. Shake them round. That's it, just seal off the bag and that's ready for your next session. I like to glug my pellets for at least 3 to 4 nights before I go fishing. All you need is 2 pints of water for your micros. I'm only going to use a small amount of pellets, so about half a pint will do. Put them in your pellet wetter. This is the Guru pellet wetter, very good. Make sure that it really does make sure you don't overwet your pellets. Put them in your pellet wetter, put them in your bait tub full of water, leave them for 30 seconds, only 30 seconds. You're not fishing them on the feeder, you just feed them on the pole, so you only need to leave them in 30 seconds. You don't want them to bind or anything, you just want them to sink. And now I'll just literally, the pellets have already glugged in Sal liquid. 4mm and 6mm, I don't, because I've glugged them in an oil and they're a heavier bait, I don't soak them. I think they're a lot better just dry. And what I do every time I ship out with the pole in the cab pot, I just dunk the cab pot under the water just to slightly wet the pellets and just make sure that they sink evenly. Just going to probably have not even a half a pint, probably a quarter pint of 6mm pellets. That's all I'm going to use. So yeah, that's how I like to prepare my pellets. Very simple really. I'm now going to get back onto the box, quickly show you the rigs and get fishing and try and catch as many fish as possible in 2 hours. Right, so you join me back on my box now, and I'm now going to show you the rigs I'm using today. I've already showed you the pellets and how I like to prepare them. So the two rigs are, starting with my long line. All the elastics and the top kit setups are the same. So I've got a 11 Preston hollow elastic and a medium sized Guru Dacron connector. Main line is 016. I don't go too light in the winter, as long as you don't go stupid light, 019, 020 upwards. I personally think that the line doesn't really make much of a difference in terms of getting bites in the winter. In the winter, you know, you're not going to get as many bites, and you want to make every single fish count. 0.4 drenning carp float. I'm fishing in about 3.5 foot of water up to the island. And you might think that's a heavy float, but I like to have a nice, you know, stable float when fishing long, and also I like a thick bristles, allows me to see a lot more bites. Small bulker number 8's just the cock float, going down to a loosely strung bulker number 10's, 014 hook length to a 16 F1 pellet, and that's set up as a bait band hair rig. And then my short line, slightly bigger float, 0.5 carp free float, but everything else about the rig is the same, just a little bit, just a different depth. Funny enough, short, once you go out about a top kit in length, you go into about 4 or 5 foot of depth, which if the fish aren't slightly shallower today and they're deeper, this is the line I should catch on. But everything else is exactly the same main line, same shotting pattern as me island rig, same elastic, everything else is the same. So those are my rigs, very simple rig, and yeah, let's try and catch a few fish. Every single top kit is going to be set up with a Guru toss spot with a sprinkle pot. The first 10 put-ins, sprinkle a bit of bait in, try and create a bit of noise, draw a few fish in. I'm not trying to feed the fish, just trying to draw a few fish in and get a few bites. Once I've started to get a few bites, I tend to feed every 1 or 2 fish. When the fishing's really hard, I like to use the Guru micro toss pot. I put about, you know, a tiny pinch, kind of a salt pinch of micros in, and just sprinkle them out just to try and get one bite. When fishing down the edge, I take the sprinkle pot off and I kind of half fill it with micros and just potted it in that way. So yeah, that's how I like to use the cad pots. I think it's very important, especially on venues like this when the fish really respond to noise, is to sprinkle the pellets from a height, create a bit of noise and draw them in. Main tip I would give you for fishing at this time of year, just keep it simple. Only fishing 2 lines today, and in a match situation I probably would only fish an edge line, maybe a feeder line, but I'll just keep it very simple. 3 maximum lines really, 4 if the fishing's really hard and the fish are feeding further out on a feeder line, but just keep it nice and simple. Make sure you're comfortable in the winter time, because you can be waiting quite, you know, a rather long time for bites. But we'll see how the fishing goes today, and yeah, let's try and catch a few fish. Right then, come to the end of the session, let's get the fish back. I managed to get 30 in the end, so I managed to hit my target. Let's not drop that. So I'm just going to be very careful and just slip all these F1s back. That's a lot of micros.
Good day's fishing. See you next time. Thank you.